Hello everybody, welcome to Sports Source, your number one source of sports, and today we're making a 2019 NHL mock draft video. Now last year I made this NHL mock draft video and I got 19,000 views, so share this to a friend. I want to repeat that same success and grow on it. But I'm doing a mock draft at this time of the season because I want to do another one in June. All of the first round. This one's just going to be of the lottery, and I spent a lot of time on this video, so press that like button and subscribe for more NHL news and discussions. Without further ado, let's begin with the New Jersey Devils, who have the first overall pick. With the first overall pick, I have the New Jersey Devils selecting Jack Hughes. Now, he's been first overall on every mock draft for what it seems like to be a year now, and he's just an incredible skater. Offensive awareness is incredible playmaking, and he's been compared to Patrick Kane, which I think is a very good comparison. But they have lots of offensive weapons already in New Jersey, and they're just building onto it with the addition of Jack Hughes. And some people are saying that Kakko could go to this spot because he fits better, he's more well-rounded, but I think that it's going to be very difficult for the New Jersey Devils to pass up on Jack Hughes with the first overall pick. With the second overall pick, I have the New York Rangers selecting Kakko. Now, to me, this is the easiest pick of the draft because whoever the Devils don't draft, then that's who's going to fall to New York. And they already have Vitaly Kravtsov, who's a very good forward prospect. And Kakko is really going to be that great cornerstone forward to help their youth movement, and he's already going to join a good group of young forward prospects in New York. With the third overall pick, I have the Chicago Blackhawks taking Vasili Podkolzin. Now, the Blackhawks are in an interesting position because they're not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. They could probably make the playoffs next year if they make the proper moves in the offseason and if Corey Crawford could stay healthy. But there's so many players that they could draft with this position. They could pick Bowen, Byram, which looks very, very tempting for their team. They could pick Cozens, which looks tempting as well. But throughout the past three drafts, they've drafted defensemen with their first round pick 3 times. So I just think that Podkolzin has a lot of potential, and the only risk people are saying is because he's signed in the KHL, and he's a risk because he is Russian. But the Blackhawks took a risk on Panarin, and I feel like the Blackhawks aren't really in a rush to get him over to the NHL because they already have DeBrincat, Strome, Taves, Kane, a plethora of just great forwards. So I think they could spend time developing him in the KHL, but he is a great offensive force, and he's a great defensive player, and I think that once he develops and comes over to the NHL, he could be a very good fit with the Chicago Blackhawks. With the fourth overall pick, I have the Colorado Avalanche taking Cozens. Now, they really need secondary scoring. Some people are saying that the Colorado Avalanche should draft Bowen Byram because he's the best defenseman in the draft, and him and Cale Makar would make an amazing defensive pairing. But they already have Girard, they already have Barrie. I think that the biggest need for the Avalanche is secondary scoring next to Landeskog, Rantanen, and McKinnon. And the best person for that is Cozens. He has a good combination of size and speed. He has a great shot, great offensive awareness, and good around the net, and he has strong defensive play that could help the Colorado Avalanche and just depthen their forward core going forward. With the fifth overall pick, I have the LA Kings selecting Bowen Byram. Now, even though they really need some offense and they had one of the worst offenses in the league this year, I still have them taking the best player on the board, Bowen Byram. And he is, without a doubt, the best player in the draft. 4 and 5 are interchangeable. I think that Bowen Byram could either go to the Avalanche or the Kings or maybe the Detroit Red Wings, but I don't think I could see him dropping that far. But the Kings, they need youth, and even though they need forwards, they already have Gabe Vilardi, which some people might not think that Gabe Vilardi could pan out, but there's still lots of time for him. They have some other offensive prospects. But Bowen Byram is an excellent skater. He has great positioning and IQ, very good shot, and he has the vision to quarterback a power play. And I think that him next to Drew Doughty, I mean, he's already been drawing comparables to Drew Doughty, so I think that Drew Doughty can mentor him, show him the way, and I think that could be a deadly defensive pairing for years to come. And then once Drew Doughty retires or leaves the team, then Bowen Byram could take the reins of the defensive core in Los Angeles. At number 6, I have the Detroit Red Wings taking Alex Turcotte. Now, even though they really need a defenseman, I don't think that Byram will fall to them, which is really sad. But if Byram doesn't fall to them, then I think that Turcotte could be their next bet. He has an incredible two-way game, and he would fit in well with Detroit's system. He's fast. He's just a great offensive player. But Turcotte will most likely marinate in college for a couple years, which is fine with Detroit because they really like to develop their forward prospects, especially in college. We've seen lots of their players stay in college or the AHL for a bit, and then until they're ready to come to the NHL. The Red Wings like to develop their players pretty slowly, and I think that this benefits Turcotte a lot if they decide to do this. But Detroit adds another gifted, speedy forward to their already talented offensive group moving forward. With the 7th overall pick, I have the Buffalo Sabres taking Trevor Zegras. Now, Trevor Zegras has elite playmaking and hockey IQ, and he could add just great passing, and he could add his skill set to this lively Buffalo offensive core. He has top-line potential, and he could feed off some of their other young forwards very well, like Jack Eichel and Sam Reinhart and many others, and Casey Milstead. Now, he is very versatile. He could either play center, he could play the wing, he could skate back hard and on the rush hard. He is just an amazing player, and I think he'd fit in well with that energy that the Buffalo Sabres offensive core is trying to build, and I think that he could very well fit in with this offense. At number 8, I have the Edmonton Oilers drafting Kirby Dach. Now, Edmonton needs some offensive depth to help Draisaitl and the Nuge, and obviously McDavid. So who better than Kirby Dach? He's got a big frame, he has great playmaking, his work ethic and drive have been questioned, but nonetheless, the Oilers would be great getting a power forward with great passing vision and a player who's been getting compared to Ryan Getzlaf. They already took a chance on Evan Bouchard last year, whose stock dropped and his work ethic and drive was questioned. But I think that Kirby Dach, if he falls to 8 and to the Edmonton Oilers laps, I think that'll be an easy selection for them on draft night. With the 9th overall pick, I have the Anaheim Ducks drafting Matthew Boldy. Now, the Ducks were last in goals last year, and they need to draft a forward, for sure. They need to add someone to score goals for them and add to that offense. But the Ducks GM, Bob Murray, he seems to be a very traditional GM who likes to take size and grit. And, he has previously drafted Max Jones, Maxime Comtois, and others in the first round. And Boldy is the most well-rounded player in the draft. He can play in all situations. He's a smooth player, high IQ player that the Ducks front office will fall in love with. He's got a great shot. He could overall... People are calling him the Swiss Army knife because he's just so versatile and he could play in literally any scenario. So I think that this will be an easy pick for the Anaheim Ducks if they decide to take him. At number 10, I have the Vancouver Canucks taking Peyton Krebs. Now, the Canucks need to make a great pick with the draft in Vancouver, and they'll probably go for the best player available, and I think the best player available is Peyton Krebs. And even though he was on a terrible Kootenay Ice team, and I think he was a minus 50 last season, he still was a point per game, and he has a great drive and work ethic, one of the best in the draft, which the Canucks really look for. And combine that with the great skating, amazing passing, and puck handling that Krebs brings to the table, you got a great draft prospect in Vancouver for the next season. With the 11th overall pick out of the Philadelphia Flyers, selecting Victor Soderstrom. Now, the Flyers' biggest need is a defenseman, preferably a right-hand defenseman, and who better than the second best defenseman in the draft, Victor Soderstrom. He's a great skater, excellent in both directions, he has good vision and passing skills, he has a quick shot release, but he needs to add more power and accuracy to his shot. I think that him pairing with Shane Gostisbehere could be a very good offensive duo on the defensive back end, and he could just add to their defensive core, and they could bring up passes to the stacked forward core in Philadelphia. With the 12th pick in the NHL draft, I have the Minnesota Wild selecting Alex Newhook. Now, the Wild really need a speedy center that could do it all, and Alex Newhook could be that player for them. He's a speedy goal scorer that is versatile and can play center or the wing. He has drawn some comparisons to Kyle Connor, and also, overall, I think this would be a very good pick for Minnesota going forward. With the 13th overall pick in the draft, I have the Florida Panthers selecting Cam York. Now, Florida needs either a young goalie for the future, which there is a young goalie in this draft, Skinner, but he's supposed to go later in the first round, so I could see them trading down to pick him. But anyways, in this mock draft without trades, I have them selecting Cam York. Now, Florida really needs a left-handed puck-moving defenseman to complement Aaron Ekblad, and I believe Cam York would be the perfect fit. He has great hockey sense, great agility, and burst of speed. He can quarterback a power play, and has ironically drawn comparisons to current Panther Keith Yandle. The 14th pick, I have the Arizona Coyotes taking Cole Caufield. Now, the Coyotes' biggest need is a pure goal scorer, so why not get Cole Caufield, who is the best pure goal scorer in the draft? The biggest concern with him is his size, but we've seen guys like Alex DeBrincat and Johnny Gaudreau make it work. Overall, Caufield would be a great selection for the Arizona Coyotes, and Keller's amazing passing would benefit Caufield a lot. I think this would be a great fit for the Arizona Coyotes offensive core moving forward, and it would translate to a lot of wins and a lot of nice highlight reel goals. The Montreal Canadiens have the 15th overall pick, and this is probably the most unsure pick in the lottery. There's so many different directions the Habs could go. They could either trade this pick, they could draft Ryan Suzuki, the brother of Habs prospect Nick Suzuki. They could also possibly draft a defenseman like Harley, Hanola, or Broberg. But I have them drafting French-Canadian Rafael Lavoie. He is 6'4", 200 pounds, and would add great defense, grit, physicality, and good finishing in front of the net to this team. He also has a great shot and can play center or on the wing. And you know that the Habs really like their French Canadians, and they really like grit on their team. So I think that this is a match made in heaven. Thank you for watching. What do you think of my mock draft? Let me know down in the comment section below, and feel free to leave your own mock draft down in the comment section below. But that's it for me now. Subscribe for more NHL news and discussions, like the video, and share with your friends. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and goodbye.